Hello, 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 Carol. Hi, Pam. How you doing? Just trying to get things set up here. Well, if I could type, it would be good. Apparently, Carol, I type as well as I proofread. Okay, can you hear me well enough? Everything's good? You're responding, so I guess so. All right, we're just going to give it a minute or two, and we are going to get started here very, very shortly. I'm on a couple of minutes early because I wanted to get things set up. Yeah, so I will have a little sip here and wet my whistle, and then we're going to get started. All right, just a brief introduction to start. My name is Shel Anderson. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com, and I can be reached by email anytime at andersonshel@gmail.com. You found me tonight on my Facebook business page, Stamp with Shel, and I can also be found on YouTube at Stamp with Shel. I'd like to thank you for joining me tonight. We are going to have a play with something that I have been doing. Okay, first off, I'm going to show you what I've been doing. I have been, in what little spare time I have, making this book. And this has samples of my DSP. Okay, so that when I'm making a card, I can just simply open this book and easily find a piece of paper that is going to coordinate with what I want. So in doing that, I cut off a 2x2 strip. I've lost my comments. There we go. Hello, Michelle. Okay, I cut off a 2x2 strip to make that book. So I had tons and tons, and I mean tons, of these little 2x2 squares, and I thought, whatever am I going to do with that mess? Well, I figured out what I'm going to do with that mess. I've made 3 cards already, and we're going to make a 4th one tonight. If you stick around to the end of the video, you will see some alternatives that I've used, sort of kind of the same idea. I've used the 2x2 squares. I've just used them in different ways. Okay? So tonight I chose to use the offcuts of the gingerbread. Oh, let me show you the sample in my book. Of the gingerbread and peppermint DSP. Okay? So these are all the patterns that we're going to use. Now, with this set of DSP, this is 6x6 DSP. There are, on one side, there are pieces that you can cut out, and on the opposite side is the pattern. So we're obviously going to be using the pattern set tonight. That horrendous crash that you just heard was a whole pile of ribbon that just went flying. I couldn't decide which one I'm going to use, so I brought them all. All right, so let me get rid of this paper trimmer. And, oh, I have to tell you something. I was going through my stash and sorting and cleaning, and I found 12x12 craft paper. It's identical to the 6x6 paper that is in the catalog now, but a few years back, in 2016, we had 12x12 of this craft paper, and I thought, I'm just going to pull that out, and that's going to be my card base tonight, because there is craft paper in some of these pieces, right? So that's what I'm going to use. So for the inside of my card, I have a piece of Whisper White, and I just grabbed a piece of Old Olive for the base that we're going to be using. Oh, I had the paper trimmer out here for a reason. I wanted to show you what I did. I took, let me get two pieces here. I took a piece of DSP that was a 2x2 square, and I put the points on my track. Okay, you got to make sure that your points are in the track, and then I cut them into triangles. That's all I did with those 2x2 squares. Okay, all right, we are going to get started. We're going to put this piece of paper on the inside of our card so that we have a nice place to write the greeting. And because this this paper is not as thick as cardstock but thicker than DSP, I use the Whisper White Thick so that it gives it some substance, and then we'll be putting this on the outside anyway. So this is what we are going to build our card on. And this is, what size did I make this? This is, I've lost my comments again. There we go. All right. This is actually exactly 4 by 5 1/4. Now we may trim this down depending on what happens. But we are just going to start at the top of this card. And we are going to start adding our triangles. Now, you can add these triangles in whatever fashion you want. There is no rhyme or reason to this. I saved this little piece. I think I might put that on the inside. I'm not quite sure yet, but I had that little piece left over. So I am just going to start alternating pieces of these triangles. And I mean, you can do this technique with whatever size triangle or squares you want. You can do it with 3-inch squares. You can do it with 1-inch squares, 1.5, just as long as they start out with squares. That's all that matters. I'm not sure. I've only got one of those, so I'm not sure I'm going to use that one. There we go. Oh, I have 2 of those. Well, look at that. Maybe I will use that. Let me have a look here. Let's just sort this stuff out. All right, so these ones we have to use that way. These ones can be used either way. That has to be used that way, as does that. Oh, that can be used either way. All right, let's put this striped one in here. How am I going to do this one? I think I'll go like that. This way. There we go. And I should be doing this on my silicone mat because I just got glue all over my desk again. All right. Continuing on. Let's put one of these on here. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. And like I said, there's no rhyme nor reason. We're just gonna fill it in. And I'm just gonna flip this over. And I am going to trim off those little triangles. And I'll tell you why. Not because I had to do it right then, but because I'm going to use this little piece to fill in that top corner. tricky, eh? Very tricky. And yes, your scissors will be gluey and you'll have to clean them off after, but that's okay. Believe me, the end result is going to be worth it. All right. We'll continue our little journey. Isn't that cool? And now we should have, maybe we'll bring in this white one. Yeah. I'm losing my comments again. I have to keep refreshing the screen on my iPad. I don't lose the video, I just lose the comments. Alright. And I chose a cardstock that has, I chose the green purposefully because if you happen to not get your triangle exactly correct, you're going to be able to see where it's uneven. So I chose a color that was in my DSP so that if it wasn't exactly even, it would be much less noticeable. And believe me, at the very end, you're not going to notice anyway. You're really not. There we go. All right, let's bring in another one of these with the craft paper. There we go. And my fingers are gluey, man. All right, let's try. Let's put this one down here, perhaps, like so. I'm going to move this up a little. Oh, actually, I'm going to cut those wings off, and then I'll be able to move it up. All right, now where was I going? Who am I? Where am I? Where was I going? Down here in this corner, I believe. No. I'll get her figured out. There we go. Oops, slipped. Slip sliding away. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go to this one with some white in it. Boom. Need a little bit more glue right here. We want to make sure this is glued down because once I get this all on here, we're going to emboss it. And you want to make sure all your pieces, holy moly, I've got glue everywhere. You want to make sure that your pieces are well glued down. I'm going to get a different mat. I've got glue everywhere. We'll just double up and I'll have a fresh mat. All right. You guys are quiet tonight. go this way first. We'll do that. And then we'll put this green one down here in the corner. So as you can see, I'm still going to have leftover triangles even after all this. There we go. All right, now we're going to take these scissors and I'm using these scissors specifically because they're going to be all gummed up. When I was doing the other ones, I was using my good scissors and it kind of made me mad. So now I'm using these old crappy ones. There we go. All that yuckiness can take a trip. So here we have a whole bunch of triangle shapes glued down, and that's kind of looking sort of like a quilt. Okay, so now I am going to bring in the big boss. And I have not tried this. I'm telling you right up front, I have not tried this embossing folder. But we're going to do it tonight. It's the Tasteful Textile. And I'm just going to stick that in there. And then we will run it through maybe the big boss. And I'll get this out of the way. This out of the way. And we will have a look. You ready? Oh, it's very subtle. You can see it. I don't know whether you guys can or not. I'll keep wiggling this back and forth. Maybe you can. It's very subtle, but it's there. Okay, so this may have been a little too subtle. All right, so we're going to see, there's the back side. You can obviously see that. That's what it is on the front side, but it kind of gets lost a little bit because of all the print. Now we need to find some dimensionals. I might as well glue this little guy right down here, but I'm going to have to trim him. He's a little bit too big. There we go. No, I think I like the green side. Just dress up the bottom of the page. Now I have the stamp set that goes with this paper. I do not have the dies, but I have the stamp set. So we can choose a greeting from this stamp set to go on the front of this card. There is, "You're the icing to my gingerbread, wishing you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, sending you peppermint kisses." So we have no gingerbread and we have no peppermints on this card. So it's either going to be Happy Holidays or wishing you a Merry Christmas. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Nope, wrong one. And I'm going to grab a block and my Memento ink pad and some scrap white. Let's see if we can get a nice stamping on here. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. All right. Now, I'm going to, hello Melanie, I'm glad you made it. I wonder why you were late to the party. Melanie was just at my house. That's why she's late to the party. Trying to decide on a punch. I don't think this will fit in here. No, it will not. It will not. Let me see what I can come up with. How about the everyday label? I'm going to use that one in a bit. We'll use this one. Try to get it straight. There we go. And I wonder if I have some red nearby. Of course not in the scrap bin, but I have some up here. Okay, we're all going to gasp because I'm going to punch this out of a full sheet. There we go. I didn't want to rummage around in the scrap bin. I just thought that if I matted this greeting, it would, let me get this out of the way, it would be nicer. So let's try that. So I cut 2 extra tags and I cut one horizontally and one vertically, and we are going to see, I'm just mitering the corners because I'm going to glue this to the back side of this. Well, I'm out of silicone mats, so we're going to have to bring in a pink one. It's been a sticky situation of a night, right? All right, so the plan is to, let me get this down here, right? What am I doing? Huh. I'm supposed to be teaching you and I'm doing it backwards. There we go. That's supposed to go something like that, and I don't think I'm going to like that, so maybe I'll just do the ends. Maybe I'll just do the ends. Yeah, I like that better. So I'm just going to put some glue on here, and we don't need a lot. And then I'm just going to lay this on so that we get a shadow effect on the end. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. And then we're just going to lay this down, trying to mirror the other end. I'm just going to try this and see what it looks like. Oops, backwards again, Shel. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. All right, that's the end of that. We're going to grab some dimensionals to put on the back of this. And then we're going to grab these little guys that I fussy cut out of the paper. Now I could have stamped them, but I had the paper right there, so I just fussy cut them. And this snowflake I'm going to put on the inside of my card. Just down here to add a little something something. Okay, nothing too crazy. And then on the back of this, I'm going to pop this up as well. Oh, we have a little trimming to do. I went over the edge a little wee bit. Not that I think we'd notice it much, but we'll trim it off. And I think that's good enough. All right, now we'll put some dimensionals on the back side of this guy. And we will get this put on our card front. Oh, wrong tool. There we go. So let's get some of these backers off. All right, now you just have to decide what you want to be top and what you want to be bottom. There is no rhyme or reason. It's just your preference. And as you can see, that craft paper is the same as this and just makes a nice little border on there. And now I have these two ornaments as well as our greeting. So I think I'm going to put the greeting at the bottom. Sorry, I got my back door open and you can hear my neighbor's dog barking. Somebody must be walking down the sidewalk. There we go. All right, now, as I said at the start of this video, there was a horrendous crash. It was all this ribbon falling over. I have 3 reds, a white, and 3 golds. And I'm not quite sure which one I want. I don't think I want the golds. I think they're too much like the craft. So I think it's down to these two. This is the glittered organdy or the sheer red. Well, let's grab our bow maker and make a bow and see which one we like better. I'm just going to make tiny bows, I think, to go on top of the ornament. And I mean a tiny bow. All right, there's the red one. Let's make a white one and see which one we like better. I lost my stick there for a moment. I was sitting here staring at the bow maker saying, where'd the stick go? All right, you guys ready to vote? Because you guys are going to choose which bow is better, in your opinion. Do you like the white bow with the sparkles that are backwards? We can fix that though. Or do you like the red bow? Let me bring them up closer to the camera and you can choose. Which one do you like better? I am thinking the red. The red is a little bit more pliable anyway. Yeah, Pam, okay, you commented first. You win. So let's do 2 of these. And we'll be all set. All right, let's get that all out of the way. That can go in my bits box for another card. And now we need a glue dot. I'm almost to the end of my glue dots. I'm just going to stick that on the top, and then we're going to put some on the tails after so that we can put them where we want them. And oh, that red looks nice on the green. Good choice, Pam. And whoever else said red, everybody said red. All right. I'm going to trim this one down a wee bit. And then I'm going to grab another glue dot. And give this one a little attitude adjustment so it lays nice. There we go. Now let's see what we can do with this guy. He's a little wild and crazy. Michelle, how did you make out with your paper situation? Did you get it straightened out yesterday? There we go. All right. Trim this guy's tails. Zhuzh up the bow a little bit. And then we'll get these on our card. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of these as well. Or at least one of them. I'm not quite sure how. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to do both. They definitely need some dimension because of the card that is all DSP on the front. Kind of, yeah. It's a work in progress. Yes, you should see my work in progress. I actually went to a garage sale yesterday and they had a wine storage furniture. It's about 24 inches wide, maybe a little bit more than that, not much, but it's tall, which is great because I have a tiny craft room. And it's got 3 shelves on the top, then a drawer, and then there are 24 slots that is for wine bottles. Well, I use those fridge bins from the dollar store, and that's going to be my ribbon storage. Only problem is I can't find any of those fridge bins. All of the dollar stores are out of them, so mine is a work in progress too, Michelle. It's ever changing, believe me. All right, now we need a little sparkle on this. Let me find some rhinestones. No, I don't think I want those. I was going to... Oh, I know where they are. They're down here. I have three buckets down on the floor that has cards in progress in them. And we're just going to zazazoo. I'm going to put 1 rhinestone at each end of this tag. And that, see how easily that dressed that up? And then I'm going to put 3 just wherever. I'll put 1 there. I'll put one up here, and then I've got one big one left. I'm going to put that one down here. So there we go. Let's put these back where I got them. And we can take a look at our card. And there is what we did. Let me see if I'm in the camera here. I got to get my bearings a bit. There's what we did with our scraps, basically. Oh, I'm too high. Get down. There we go. So there's the inside and there's the outside. Now, if you want to see the other cards that I made, I'm going to insert a drum roll here. This one is done with the in color scraps, and I used the macrame folder to emboss this one, and I just made this one smaller than and this one too. I glued this one directly to the card front. I didn't put an extra panel. Okay, and I have a glue dot here. Must be off another card. I'll have to get that off. That's going to drive me crazy. So now you guys have to sit and see if I successfully remove this. Probably not. We're going to have to put something on top of there. Oh, it's from the bow. There we go. We did put something on top. The bow that's supposed to be on there. All right, so that's the same thing we did here tonight, only on a different scale. I like this one better. This one's a little busy for my liking. All right, insert a drum roll. So we've got just a regular card, a Christmas card. Check this one out with that beautiful DSP. This is a nice fall card, and it is the, I don't know the name, Blackberry Beauty DSP. It's got all that beautiful gold foiling in it. Isn't that pretty? And of course this stem is from the Harvest Bundle. Okay, and I saved the best for last. Are you ready? This is with the paper that is the specialty paper, the one you ordered today, Carol, with goes with the log cabin. This one is specifically for the guys. I did this in a long skinny card instead of a standard card, simply because this is what was in my scrap bin. And I did it in black, gray, and white with the silver foiling, and just popped a little deer on there and just a little wee tiny happy holidays. And then I used one of the triangles on the inside to embellish that one. And I did the same in here. I used two. This one, this greeting is from the Delicate Dahlias stamp set, and nothing on the inside of that one, and then the snowflake on that one. So there you go. That is something you can do with 2x2 scraps, or 1x1, 1.5 by 1.5, whatever you have. Just an idea to use up some of those scraps. And if anybody wants to come over and make cards out of this pile that I have left here, you're more than welcome to come and help me.
All right, my friends, that's it for today. I will see you on Wednesday. Same time, different place. We're in the VIP group on Wednesday. Bye-bye.